Hey everybody, today I wanted to make a video going over probably one of the most important things when it comes to racing and any EFI system, but particularly Holley Efi, and that is data and data management and data organization. This is, I call this video Data Equals Power, and more data you have, the better. The problem that most people incur is that they have a lot of data and they don't remember what the hell it is. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks about how I go about doing things, and hopefully these little tricks help you guys out. So this past weekend, well, we're going to open up Holley Efi V6, but this past weekend we raced at Streetcar Takeover at Darlington. We wound up winning their quarter-mile class, but I wanted to kind of show you the process of Sunday morning, what you do, right? So, or Monday morning or whatever day, like when you get back from the racetrack. So right now I'm just going to open up the most recent global file just so we can look at this, right? But if every round that you run should be named something, right? So this is named SCT Finals. But if we go File and then Open Global File, we've got a whole bunch of global files in here, and then we've got folders that we've created, and I'll show you how to create folders here in a second. But if we look, I label everything with a date, and then look. So SCT test 1 Saturday off the trailer, test 2 Saturday, round 1 Saturday, round 2. This was round 2 if shit pops off, which means if we pulled a buy or if we got somebody that we felt we could try something with, and then finals. So there's a reason for this, because every single round there was a little change, right? So you always made a change between, your first test pass, your second, and then like this, we didn't even run this, but if we were going to run this, this is what it's named, right? So we can access it and refer back to it later. Same thing here, right? So I was at Darlington 10-12. We tested, first test pass, second test pass. That night I learned some stuff. The next day I was in here again. I did a test with some dump valves, that night, and then the next day we were back at Darlington on 10-14, and I believe this was 10-15. I believe Saturday was 10-15. So this was Friday night, Streetcar Takeover stuff, and then this was Saturday's Streetcar Takeover stuff. Then when we got home, this was post-SCT fueling adjustments, right? So I'm always typically making small fueling adjustments after, a weekend of racing, just because the weather is continually changing. So, but anyway, the purpose of this is to name your data logs over and over again, or your global files over and over again, so that you can refer back to what you built prior and what went down, what worked, what didn't work, yada yada. So the next part of this is to actually look at data logs, right? Because that's the data is the power, but you want to be able to match your data logs with your global files. So the first thing I'm going to show you is I built folders, right? So if we go in here, this is, we could start over here, but this is, you're inside of your computer, right? Documents, Holley, V6, and then you see we've got data logs, global files. If we go into global files, it's going to go to where we just were, which is this, right? So what I'm going to do here during this, either during or after this video, is all these text documents I'm going to get rid of, right, to abridge this. And then I'm going to put all of SCT round 2 into a folder, right? So if we wanted to create a folder, just click somewhere here, right click on it here, and then we could just go, right click here, we go new, and we go folder, and we name it, SCT Friday night testing, right? And there we go. Let's make another one. Let's call this one, dang it, come on. Let's call this one SCT Saturday Racing, right? So what we do is we grab all these. These were 10, 14, or 13, sorry, 12, my bad. Looking at them all over the place. And I'm just going to left click on them, and then I'm going to hold down control, and I'm going to click on the 2 that we want to put into Friday night testing. Then we're left with these text documents, so we can left click, and then we can hold down Shift, and then we type down here, we highlight all of them, right click, and we throw them in the trash. So again, Control, if you hold down Control, you can select what you want and you can toss them. So we can toss all these info files so we don't get as confused, right? Right click and then go to the trash can. What happens is I go into like people's computers and I see with global files I see one global file. And they're like, yeah, that's my global file. And I'm like, this is all you did? How long have you been erasing it? 2 years. What do you mean 2 years? You've been erasing this thing for 2 years with one global file? Like, what did you learn in the past 2 years? Well, I remember one of these days we were here and we did something and nobody remembers what exactly it was, but we did it, So dump this stuff into a folder so that it all makes sense for you, right? So let's grab these. We're going to go Shift, and we're going to grab all these, and we're going to dump them into, where is it? Saturday Racing. There we go. So this is kind of starting to abridge it, right? So this is really starting to put it all, make it a little bit easier to find, right? So we can grab these. And we only really got, on Wednesday night, we only got one test hit in anyway, so I'm going to dump this into the same SCT Friday night testing. So now we've got a couple that are out there, right? So this one here was from Shady Side. Dump it in there, right? I've already done this, but I left this here just so that we could see it, and then dump that into your Shady, whatever your folder is called. Then we've got a 101322 dump valve test 1. As you could guess, that goes into random shit. And then post SCT fueling adjustments. That's what I'm going to leave there, right? Because we raced SCT. It's Wednesday night about 8:30, and I've made fueling adjustments tonight, right? So you can see on the computer about 2 hours ago I was tinkering with this, and you can see down here it's the same date. So this is what is like currently what I'm working with, right? So this is what I leave here in this folder. Okay, so let's go back into our global SCT finals. I'm going to go File. I'm going to hit. We're going to go Data Log and then Open Data Log, right? So it's going to pre-populate you back to your like global files folder. Just go back to V6. Double-click Data Log. Now we've got, and this is what I see this all the time. Every customer I work with, not every customer, but majority of customers that we work with, they do not have very good file management. I know I've made videos in the past about file management, but this is actually, I kind of harp on this, and I think that this is pretty important. But most people, what they do is they go, well, what day was it that we were racing? Well, it was 10:15. Okay. Well, when did we make that pass? I don't know. Maybe go find the time slip. Maybe we luck up, right? So if we look at this, we can double click this, and here's our run, right? This is our run. But look at that. Down here, it's labeled SCT Test 2 Saturday. So if we want to, we can label this run as we can go in here, we can go File, and we can hit Save As, and it's actually this one right here, Test 2. So if this is the same data log, right? So I've already done it. But now we can go in here and we can delete our data logs. So the ones that are just random numbers. Not random numbers, but numbers that you're guessing at, right? So every time you open up every time you download a data log, the way I go about this, right? So we'll just do this like step by step, right? So we double click our data log. There we go. We've opened it, right? So this is SCT finals, right? So this is the run we just made in the finals. This run I think went like 680 something at 209 in the quarter. So we look at this run and we say, okay, what do we do? Here's the steps that I take before I even save it, right? First off, we want to set our 0 point. So go ZA, automatically set 0 time. When boost time is greater than 0.00, hit OK. Now we've got a 0 marker, okay? Once we have a 0 marker, I'm good with saving it. So we go up here, we go File, Save As, and now we call this SCT Finals, right? Now I've already got one, but we can overwrite it, which is fine. And we hit Save. Do you want to replace it? Sure. Now we know that we've got our global file from the final round, and then we've got our data log that matches, right? So if we look here, sctfinals.dl, SCT finals, they match. in 3 months, when I want to go back to this and say, hey, what did we have to do with this chassis to get down this racetrack that we were kind of questionable about, I can go back and look, right? So storing this stuff appropriately is the best way to make forward progression, right, with your race program. So I teach this in the classes that I hold, and this is information that I think everybody should just know. Take a little bit of time, right? Turn off the television, stop watching, maybe during halftime or something, or whatever you people do that watch football, whatever. Instead of wasting away your Sunday or your Monday or whatever, take a few minutes and organize your folder or your files, and you'll have better access to what you want to do in the future. So if we go into here, we're back into our global files, hit HEFI v6, we go to data logs, let's look at this, right? So if we look at VERT 2022, let's look at VERT 2021, there you go. So I've got folders for everything of 2021, right? So everywhere we went for 2021. I haven't done this with 2022 yet, because honestly the car's been a total crapshoot lately. So, this one I just named like that. I don't even know why, but whatever. But if we scroll through here and we look for data logs, look at this. We've got data logs, and they're all named, right? So what we can do is we can right click, and we can hit new, we can hit folder, and we can do, let's just call it SS testing, right? So that's Shady Side testing, and I'm just going to call it all testing, right? For Shady Side. Shady Side's a local racetrack to us. We go there quite a bit. So we can grab all of these, right? So, yeah, this is a good one, 520 to 162. It's spun. But anyway, so we can left click and then hold down Control or Shift and then grab them all. And let's move them all the way up here. There's probably a faster way, so you guys that are really savvy with Windows, you're probably going to tell me, no, you just do this and that, and you're done. But this is just how I do it, so give me a break. It's a little time consuming, but it is what it is. So all these numbers here, they make sense if you look at them, for your timestamps, but it's a heck of a lot easier if you just name your stuff appropriately, right? So we're going to dump these all into SS testing. So now, all this stuff that's in here is it's all junk, because I've already named it what I want it to be named, right? So we can literally just come over here and hold Shift down, bing, bong, boom, and we can toss them all in the trash. So now we've got more information here that we can start making folders for, right? So look, I saved data logs name for spool test 1, spool test AFS 800s. I wanted to make sure it would spool on both injectors appropriately, right? This was a good one. Sick weak grenade. If your engine builder doesn't gap your rings for you, this is what happens. So this was 2022 though, right? So that's why it's still in here, because it was 2022. Vert new cam. There's some stuff here. Then here's SCT stuff, right? So test 1, test 2, round 1, finals. So, needless to say, when you go in here and you open up a data log, name it, right? Name it, save it. It is important to know what run you're looking at. Don't just try to remember, 01, 08 is the number we're looking for. Name it. Don't be afraid to. So, anyway, hopefully this helps some of y'all. Let me know if there's anything else that you think we should cover. See ya.